Look at this nonsense. I'm starting to look like a YouTuber. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Hopefully the wasps and whatnot keep their distance. You all got your assignments? What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel. A couple of weeks ago, the Gooloo 300 watt power station went up against another Marbero product, and once again the Marbero did not do well at all. So today we're going to put the Gooloo, which is, you know, not really well known, up against the Jackery. If you're like me and you have to power a lot of things out in the field, the only times I would really use this is when camping and whatnot, where I have to offload all the stuff from the cameras, maybe do some editing work at night. That's the only real reason that I would have one of these products. The Gooloo, in its last showing, was very impressive. The Marbero was not. So today we are putting the Jackery 300 watt, actual model number will be right up here, against the Gooloo. And if you use things like this, like I do, you know that Jackery and Anchor are kind of the Nike and Reebok of everything portable power. So how is the Gooloo going to stand up to the Jackery? Let's find out. All right, let's go over inputs and outputs first, starting with the Gooloo. On the front panel, you got 3 buttons. DC on and off, which is this section. This is simply a display button. You're probably not going to be able to see that display very well with the lighting. It was supposed to be overcast today, that's why I saved recording for today, and it's just not quite cooperating. There's a thin layer of clouds up there, but it keeps going in and out. And then you've got AC button, which is this side. 2 110 volt AC ports with dummy grounds, 2 USB-Cs. One of them is power delivery 60 watt, which is pretty impressive off a device like this. And then we've got a quick charge 3.0 and a standard 2 amp 5 volt USB-A there, and 2 12 volt 3 amp outputs along with the 12 volt cigar lighter style output there. Nothing but fans on the side panels. One side has a intake fan, the other an exhaust, keeps the unit nice and cool. On the back we have a light. It's got a couple different cycles. It's got 3 cycles of brightness and then an SOS and then off. And here are your inputs to charge the actual device. Comes with a standard plug-in charger, plugs into here. You can also plug solar into there, and you can plug solar into here. On the Jackery, kind of much of the same. You've got your buttons. We've got a display button, tiny little display. I don't think you're going to be able to see that very well. It does read out, much like the Gooloo, in 1% increments, which is handy. And then you've got buttons on each section. This DC does the cigar lighter style. This button turns on and off the USB side. You've got a single USB-C. It is power delivery capable, 60 watt, just like the Gooloo. And then you've got 2 5 volt 2 amp outputs. That's it. No quick charge, nothing. Button to turn on and off the AC, 2 110 volt with dummy grounds, and then your input for the wall charger or solo. You've got kind of the same deal. There's 2 fans built into this guy, an intake and an exhaust, and then the backside is blank, and that's pretty much it. All right, 300 watt output on the AC side for each of them. The Jackery comes in at 7 pounds 3 ounces While the Gooloo comes in at 8 pounds, 4 ounces. It's a bit of a tank. It's also a lot bigger. Jackery, 9 inches wide, 8 inches high, and 5.5 inches deep. This behemoth here is 10 inches wide, 9 inches high with the handle, and 6.5 inches deep. It's substantially bigger and a little bit heavier. Let's check, make sure this display shuts off. Pretty sure it will. Let's pause this. Oh, did I hit record on here? I hope I did. Good. One of the big issues that we had with the Marbero was that when you actually hit the display button to check the status of it, the Marbero's display stayed on. It doesn't time out. So the sucker has the fatal flaw of discharging itself with nothing plugged into it. You don't have that problem with either one of these. The display, as I've been talking, both of them have timed out from the time I hit the button. Let's get into discharge times. I use the exact same setup for both of these, and what I did was use two 110 volt, 100 watt incandescent bulbs to create a 200 watt load. That said, with the 300 watt hour capacity of both of these, well, this is 300 watt hour, this is actually 293. Kind of splitting hairs there. So with that 200 watt load, theoretically, each one of these should last about an hour and a half. And they did quite well. The Gooloo completely discharged after an hour and 24 minutes. And the Jackery discharged at an impressive 1 hour and 31 minutes. So we got 7 more minutes with a 200 watt load out of the Jackery than we did the Gooloo. Now, one of the things that I noticed as I was performing that test is that the Gooloo display in its 1% increments is very, very accurate. You know exactly when that thing's gonna go down. The Jackery, not so much. As I was doing the test, I thought the Jackery was going to get absolutely punched by the Gooloo because it went down to 1% really, really fast. And then it hung in there at 1% for quite a while. I'll put the time where the Jackery got to 1% up on the screen here, and then how long it lasted after it hit 1%. The same thing is true when you're charging them back up from the wall. Charge time, when you got it plugged into the wall with their supplied power supplies. Gooloo from completely discharged, 4 hours, 21 minutes. Jackery, 4 hours, 19 minutes. But again, had the same issue with the display on the Jackery, in which it's not really telling you accurately where it's at, where the Gooloo pretty much tells you what's going on, how much power is going into it, what the percentage is, and it just seems extremely accurate. All that said, which one would you choose? I mean, because they're basically doing the same thing. The only real fault I find... All right, sorry about that. I don't like wasps. I just don't. I don't trust them. Oh, look at that guy. Jeez. All right. My impressions? I like them both. They do practically the same thing. The Jackery performs slightly better. Again, 7 more minutes. Hour 31 on a 200 watt load. Hour 24 on a 200 watt load. And it charged back up only 2 minutes faster, and we're talking about 4.5 hours. So, disadvantages. The one disadvantage that I find comes with the Jackery, and that is the accuracy of the power meter. You're not going to know when this thing's going to die until you get very used to it or you have a stopwatch going on. You're just not going to know because it's going to say that it's at 1%, and it's not at 1%. Now, some may say that they do that on purpose because they don't want you to discharge the internal battery all the way, but these are LiPo. This isn't a dry cell, or this isn't a car battery. You can take these things all the way down. You're not going to do any damage to them. Don't keep them all the way down. LiPo batteries, if you're going to have them stored for an extensive amount of time, it's always recommended that you keep the charge at about 50% and then just charge it up the rest of the way before you use it. Let's talk about price. Both of these are 280 bucks. However, the Gooloo is often deeply discounted. I got the Gooloo for 160 bucks. Jackery had a, what was it, a $50 off coupon? Yes, $50 off coupon, so 230, 160, 230. That's gonna vary if you get them on Amazon, but I've been keeping an eye on these things, and you know, I've had both of these in my possession for a couple months now, and Jackery is not on sale right now. Gooloo has I think like a 10% off coupon, but the Gooloo coupons are constantly changing, so if you just put it in a cart, you'll find that the price is gonna go up and down quite a bit. So if it gets down to that area, what did I say, 160 bucks, hop on it. As for what I'm keeping, I mean, I'm keeping the Gooloo, straight up. The only other disadvantage that I see is just the sheer size. I mean, this guy's a bit of a monster, but they perform pretty much identically. Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to this guy just because of the price. Thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.